Hello all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to be your host today. Now if you haven't already sent in your Christmas wish list, today is going to be the day to do it because I feel Santa may be able to bring you a few of these goodies if he's really quick. And these are certainly products you're going to want to find in your Christmas stocking because not only are they incredible and some of the best products I think we've bought you ever, they're also on incredible offers as well. Now, if you're new to our videos, you might not have come across us. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed today's video. How this works is we're going to show you all of the products that we're going to be talking about today shortly. And then I'm going to show you our essentials pack and then lots of cards that we've made as well. Hopefully to give you a few ideas and show you what you could do with these products. Now, when we look at the products, every product I'm going to show you is going to have a code on it. If you wish to order these products via phone to one of our stores, on any of our social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or on YouTube, then if you could please quote the codes, we'll know the items that you're on about and we can make sure we get the right ones. If you wish to, you can order all of the products we're looking at today on our website as well, in which case you don't need to worry about the codes. Everything is pictured and you can just click on the items you would like. As a little warning, if you are doing international shipping with us, that's no problem at all, but please get your orders in really quickly and we'll certainly do our best to get them to you in time for Christmas, but we are getting a bit close now and the postage is getting a bit busy, so we will do our best on our side, but sometimes it's out of our hands. But come rain, shine, summer or winter, you're going to love these things. So even if you don't get them quite in time for Christmas, I think you're still going to really want them anyway. So what we're looking at today is we have got some really large grand dies, and then we're also going to take you on and show you some incredible paper pads as well. Now I can see you've made your way to look at our first die of the day. This is our grand rectangle die. Now I warned you these are large, and by large I mean large. The largest one of these is 18 centimetres by 23.5. Now we've actually put them onto A4 cardstock for you, just so you can get a bit of an idea of how you're looking at this in conjunction to sizing. Hopefully give you a bit of a glimpse into what you're looking at. But these are perfect for making your card fronts. They're great for that. They're great for adding onto boxes. You can even fold them in half and make your cards with the actual cutout if you want to. You can nest them together as they are here and actually cut frames out as well if you wish to, or windows. They're great for scrapbooking. So if you're thinking of making photo frames in your scrapbooks, or if you'd like to make a mini album maybe, these would be really good for that too. One of the most impressive bits that I was quite surprised with when we ordered these is not only do you get the really big sizes, you've also got the really teeny weeny tiny ones as well. So we literally go all the way down. Now I'm going to show you 5 different collections of these today, and they average between 14 to 20 dies per set. So I'm not going to bore you with every one and all the numbers, simply because I will not be able to remember. But as you can see, you're getting lots and lots of dies for your money, and the options are just going to be endless for these. Die 1 is your grand rectangle, or rectangles. It should be $25.99, but we have them on offer this week for just $16.99. Now that's something I haven't mentioned. All of the offers we talk about today are only valid for 1 week and 1 week only. So these, if we still have them in stock, which I think will be a miracle, this offer will end at 5 PM on Saturday the 15th of December 2018. So please don't hesitate, get in quickly. After that date, if we've got them, they will return back to the original price. So get them while they're on offer. Moving on to shape number 2. Shape number 2 is die number 2, which is your grand hearts. And again, we've got a really lovely scalloped heart. The biggest die on this one is 18.3 centimetres by 19.5. So again, a really nice large size. Again, great for making your card fronts, boxes, all different sorts with these. They could also, especially with these ones, you can even fold them in half and sort of fan them in together and make like decorations and bits. So possibly if you're doing baby showers or thinking of Valentine's decorations or anything along them lines, doesn't just have to be card making. Your grand hearts again should be $25.99, but is reduced to just $16.99. Moving on to die number 3, this is our grand ovals. Once again, price-wise, it should be $25.99, but it is now only $16.99. This one actually has the most dies in it. You get 20 dies in this one. And as you can see, there really is so many. We actually struggled to lay them all out so you could see them all. But there's just so many. I love these little tiny ones as well. So many bits we could do with them. They might be quite nice for putting initials on cards and bits like that, on names. So although today I'm going to focus a lot on showing you how to use the larger dies from these sets, please don't forget you're going to be getting all of these little bits here as well. And they might make really nice sentiment toppers or bits to dress up your inserts, or of course cut windows out of your cards and create apertures with them. The options really are endless. Moving on to die number 4, this is your grand square. Now the grand square, the largest one of these, the outside one here, is 19.5 by 19.5 centimetres. So again, a really nice big size die. And of course these would be great for decorating our 8x8s, that's 7x7s. They're the most popular card sizes at the moment, and they'd certainly come in handy for them. So again, you've got all the way down to the little ones once again. So just so many options. I think you're really going to love these. Die for your grand square is the same price once again, so it should be $25.99, but it's reduced to just $16.99. Now moving on to our last one of our grand dies. This is die number 5. This is your grand circle. Again, it should be $25.99, but it's now only $16.99. Again, lots and lots of options with these. And of course, something we haven't spoke about with all of these, being scallop shapes. I know it's a bit of an old hobby, and not one that I've featured on any of my cards today, but these would be really good for doing spirelli with as well. Especially when you look at the smaller sizes in here, the scallops are going to be perfect for winding your threads round. So if you are somebody who's still doing spirelli or would like to give that a go, these might be really, really handy for that, as well as all of the other things I'm hopefully infusing you with, because I think you're really going to love them. So that completes your 5 individual dies. Now of course you can buy them individually, but it wouldn't be Craftmania if we didn't have an offer for you, would it? So you can buy them as part of a die mega bundle. That will give you all 5 dies. The recommended retail price for this is £129.95, but you can buy them for just $74.99. Now that of course works out even cheaper than our buying them separate price. So you're saving even more money by buying all 5 in one go. And I think that's going to be a real investment that you're going to appreciate, because these are just going to come in for every season and every theme, and whatever type of paper crafting you currently do or are even planning to get into, these would work for that too. So I think you're really going to appreciate having these in your stash. Then you're going to need lots and lots of bits to dress these up with, aren't you? So let's look at some very fancy papers to go with them. Now these are brand new, they've literally only just been launched, and I have 4 different collections for you, or 4 different pads, and they're so lovely because they're going to work together really well. So truthfully, you might want all of these. You can buy them individually, and we will have a flick through them. So this one is your first one. This is what we're calling pad 6. It's a 5 by 5 inch pad. It should be $4.99, but it's on offer for only £4.49. In here you get 80 sheets, you get 10 different designs, so you're going to be getting 8 of each sheet obviously. Now that's really lovely because it means that we can layer these, we could die cut shapes out of them, we could die cut frames out of them, we could even pyramage the effect that or the sheet that we're looking at. Of course these are great if you want to add some glitter to them, or gilding flakes, things like that, if you wanted to dress them up a bit more. But they're just beautiful, they're really lovely, and I quite like the idea of taking like the circle bit out the middle there with maybe one of your scallop circle dies and creating like a window. Again with this one, if you don't like the verse, cut the verse out, use that for something else. They're of course really good to layer as well. You're going to get to see that on some of my cards that I've actually started layering them up and giving sort of different effects to them. And that sort of completes your 10 designs in that pad. And then we continue on. But you really do get 80 in here. So they're all here again for you. It's just great value, isn't it? I don't know how cheap that makes them per design, because me and maths don't go together. But 80 sheets for only £4.49, that's silly money, isn't it? And they're just such beautiful designs. And the way they've printed them to give such depth to the designs is really, really lovely. So that was pad 6. That's your 5 by 5 pad. Should be $4.99, but it's only £4.49. Moving on to pad 7. So code pad 7. This one is actually a 6 by 6 pad. It should be £3.99, but it's reduced to just £3.59. This pad has 36 sheets, and that's in 6 designs. So if I have a little flick through these, now these I think are gorgeous. And one of the things I'm going to go on and on and on about is how well things like this fit together. Because they've stacked them so that we're going up in size, if you do get like the 5x5 pad, that would really fit nicely in the middle of the 6x6 pad. And you've got a really nice border to go around it. We've then got some really nice backing papers, again glittered up, these look lovely. And bear something like this in mind when we get onto the larger pads, because it's quite nice the way that on the smaller pads they shrink the design down. So although you might see the same patterns again, you get a more bolder version of the pattern. So that can come in really handy if you want to layer your designs. You're going to get to see that on a couple of my cards, for instance. Well, like this one, I've got the larger padlocks and keys towards the back of the card, and then the smaller ones towards the front. It just gives quite a classy and expensive look. So that gives you all 6 of your designs in that pad. But again, don't forget you are getting 36 sheets. So once again, they are all here. And again, you could layer them, glitter them. You could add your gilding flakes to them. The options are really endless, aren't they? Papers are so lovely. Then we move on to our next pad. So this one is pad 8, and this time we've gone up to a 7x7 pad. So it should be £4.99, but this one's also reduced to £4.49. Now this one's really good if you're going to be doing 7x7 or 8x8 cards. Now I haven't used this one to its full potential today by a long shot, but I think this is lovely for putting the bits in the middle of it when you want to add your dies on or your sentiments, or of course we go back to the idea of putting the sentiment topper pad in the middle of it if you wanted to. But it's just a really lovely pad because I've kept it more to the outside with this pad. Again, in this one you're going to get 36 sheets, and again you've got 6 different designs, and you can see just how well the whole designs coordinate between pads, can't you? They really have designed these to go well together. I just love the colours as well. They're sort of a muted vintage colour scheme, which I think is really lovely. Did we start with a pink? Oh, no, we didn't. I love these bits as well, where they've put the keys in as the corners, because you don't really notice their keys to begin with, and they just look like really nice additions. So again, that's completing the designs you're going to get in this pad, but once again, you have got all of them other sheets as well. So again, maybe we could layer them too. And then if we move on to our next one, so pad 9. Now this one's actually a kit. It's an 8x8 pad, but they've also give you some die cut topper bits as well. So you're actually going to get 32 die cut toppers in 8 different designs, and you're getting a paper pad in here as well. So if we break into this and look at the paper pad to begin with, now the beady-eyed amongst you might already realise that these are the same designs as the 6x6 pad, which was pad number 7. But as I was saying earlier, how nice is it to have these in 2 different sizes? You take that straight away, you've got the nice 6x6, you've got the really lovely 8x8, stick in a couple of mats for your layers, maybe cut down one of the toppers in the middle, and you've got a really stunning card just on page 1 of each of the books. You don't have to do nothing else. That would be really lovely. If you wanted to, you could add in some flowers with it as well, but you don't have to. This again is the same idea, so 36 sheets, 6 different designs, and as I said earlier, they're just going to get a bit bolder in their designs. This is one of my favourites. I really love this paper, so you're going to get to see that quite a lot in my cards today. And this one I've used quite a lot as well. Quite surprised me. I really like the polka dot bit the more I got to use it. So then we're back to that one. And again, you've got all of them other sheets in there as well. I'm not lying to you. There really is 36 sheets in there. And then you've also got the die cut toppers. So these, as I say, are die cut. You can just pop them out. They're already cut for you. And you've got different sentiment bits on here. I won't read them out because we'll be here forever. But you can always push pause if you wish to have a little close up on them. But there's loads of different sentiments. And you've got your square versions, like I'm showing you currently. And then we also go on to some nice circles as well. And to be honest, even the sheet, once you've popped out the circles, there's nothing stopping you from hanging bits in the circles and using them as well. Nothing is wasted. They've even bothered to print around the edges of these. So it really is just quality from beginning to end. Your kit one, that is of course pad 9, is an 8x8 pad in there with your die cut topper bits. It should be £7.99. But on offer this week, it's only £7.19. So once again, I know I showed you this a moment ago with just a couple of them, but it would be really lovely for you to be able to stack all of your different pads together, and you have the beauty of doing that with this collection because they are of course 5x5, 6x6, 7x7 and 8x8, and it really doesn't matter what size card you make, you're going to be able to work these into it somewhere along the line. So if you do wish to buy them all individually, you can do. Those are the prices we've quoted, you can do that. But of course, being a Craftmania video and a Sunday showcase, we do have an offer for you as well. So if you wish to buy just the pads we've been looking at and the kit, you could buy the pad mega bundle. So that will literally give you all three of the pads and the kit we just had a little flick through. The actual recommended retail price for this collection is £21.96, but you can buy that collection for just £17.99 if you wish to, which of course is incredible value. And under £18 for all of them sheets, you're just going to have hours upon hours of fun. I've made about 15 projects today, and I've really heavily used these papers, and you would hardly know from the pads that I've even started on them. You've just got so much to work with, it's just unbelievable. Now, talking of what I've been making today and what you might require, we of course have an essentials pack for you this week, which is quite lovely because I don't think we had one last week. We might have done, I don't know, I do get my weeks confused. But even if we did or we didn't, this week's is lovely and you're going to want this one anyway. Your essential pack, if you haven't seen the videos before, is basically a little glimpse of everything that I've been using to make my cards, put together in one packet, and then we take roughly a third off of the price so that you can get them and get working with them at an even cheaper price than they should be. So this week's essential pack should cost you £24.94, but we've reduced it to just £16. Now, I know our regular style videos are aware of this, but our essential packs sell out really, really quickly. So if you do like the look of these packs, please get this one ordered as soon as you can. So let's have a little delve in and see what you're going to be getting, shall we? Now we're going to start off with this one to begin with because I just think this is lovely. This is actually a pad of cardstock made by the same people as the paper pads that we've been looking at. You can buy this individually, it's £5.99, but to be honest, this should show you just how good value the essential packs are, because of what you're actually getting here is 24 sheets of coloured cardstock. You're going to get 8 different colours, and these are the gorgeous colours that I've found out across the top here for you. Now straight away you should be able to see just how well these match up with the papers we were looking at in the pads, and they're just gorgeous. They're colours, we stock hundreds of colours of card in the store, to be honest with you, and these are fresh new colours to anything I've seen like this before. And if you are going to be getting the pads, you're really going to want these to do your matting and layering with, and your die cutting. Imagine die cutting some flowers and layering on some of them pads that you've just been looking through. This really is a good essential to have. It's 200 GSM, so it's not necessarily strong enough for you to make your card bases or your boxes out of, but it certainly is what you're going to want for your layers and your die cutting, and it die cuts like a dream. So really would urge you to get that one from your essentials pack. On top of that, in your essential pack, you're also going to be getting a metre of this ribbon, which you're going to see I've made a really lovely bow with shortly. So again, goes in really nice for your colourways. You're also, now this I think is the largest amount of ribbon we've ever given away in an essentials pack. You're going to get 10 metres of this gorgeous pink ribbon, this double satin ribbon, and it's just perfect. Once again, we've given you so much because it just goes in with virtually every page in these pads and makes the most amazing bows and borders and different bits like that. So we really want you to have a lot of that. If you're going to go for the pads, this is again a really good thing for you to have. We've also given you 2 metres of a sheer ribbon to go around your boxes and to make some bows with some bits. You'll get to see that on some of mine shortly. And we're also going to give you a packet of these. Now these are sticky back pearls that are in a line. So these are really good for going around all them nesty shapes and around the edges of your papers. So you can literally peel them off and stick them on, and they'll give you a really nice pearl line. We're also going to give you a packet of these, which are my favourites. I try to sneak these into any essential packs when I can, because I just think they're great for putting in the middles of bows or the middles of flowers, bits like that. So you're going to get a whole sheet of them. They're sticky back, so they're ready to go. We're also going to give you a little packet of hearts. Now these are really nice as well, because I don't know how we're going to get to see this on screen, but they have a really nice little linen line that runs down the middle of them, or a little striped line, and they're going to match in with some of the card that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack as well. And the little pearl dotted edge to it really matches in with your pearls as well. And then we're also going to give you a packet of ribbon sliders as well, which is going to come in really handy with all them 10 metres of this ribbon you've got. They go through there like a dream and can give you some really nice effects to make stopper bars and bits like that when we get onto shaping some of them nested dies we're going to be looking at shortly. And then because we know that we're going to give you, or if you're going to purchase the dies, you're going to need lots of cards. So we thought we'd give you lots of card in your essentials pack as good bases to cut your card shapes and boxes out of using your dies. And of course, if you do go for the paper pads, you're going to want some plain colours to layer all this beautiful paper on as well. So we'll give you 10 sheets of this one, which is our dark champagne. Now this is a really nice double-sided card, perfect for making your card bases and boxes out of, so you're going to get 10 sheets of that. We'll give you a sheet of burgundy card, because I've made a Valentine's card today using one of the heart dies, so we thought we'd give you one of those. We're also going to give you 2 sheets of quite a nice strong ribbed cardstock, an ice gold one actually, and it's got a really nice ribbed feel to it, and it's just really quality, again nice to die cut with. You're also going to get 5 sheets of a light champagne pearl cardstock, again double-sided, great for die cut and great for your boxes. And then we'll give you 3 ice white cardstock as well. Again, really nice and thick this one, it's actually 350 GSM, so really good for your boxes and your card blanks. And then you've also got 2 sheets of a white waffle cardstock, which I've been die cutting lots of flowers out of today, and I really like the way the waffle gives the flowers a bit of texture without you having to do anything else to it. So that completes your essentials pack. It should be £24.94p, but it's only £16, and hopefully you'll agree you're certainly getting a lot in there for your £16. So, if you wish to, why not click just one button or write in one code and have everything. So this is introducing you to your super mega bundle. This will give you all 5 of the dies, all of the paper pads and the kit that we were looking at, and the essentials pack. It has a recommended retail price of £175.83p, and it's yours for just £108.98. Now I think it's the largest super mega bundle price point we've ever bought you, but I genuinely think you've got the most stuff in this that we've ever put in a super mega bundle. Them dies alone are worth more than your £108.98p, so you simply can't go wrong with this. And you're going to have so much fun, I genuinely mean that. I've spent all day today playing with this collection to make my samples, and there's just so much more I wanted to do with them. It's ridiculous. You're going to love it. So with that in mind, let's have a little look through at what I have been making in the hope to give you a few ideas and see if this is a product collection that you wish to get your hands on. So this is our first card. This is using obviously the oval die today. So I've cut 3 ovals. I'm going to explain to you a little later when we get to the end of the tables, in honesty, how to make this card and the ones I'm going to be showing you from here on for a little while. But it's basically cutting 3 of the oval die and then folding them together to make an easel card. It's ever so simple to do. But it's a really nice way to make these grand dies look really elegant and really lovely. So I've cut this obviously out of the dark champagne cardstock that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack. I've then used some of the card that comes from the card pack that you're getting in your essentials pack. And then of course we've got some of the papers and the toppers that of course are coming out of your different pads that we had a little look through earlier. You've also got one of the little ribbon sliders and some of the ribbon that you're going to get in your essentials pack. And we've got the flowers that have been cut out of that really lovely white waffle card that's of course in your essentials pack as well. Now these flowers, you're going to see these heavily feature in today's Sunday Showcase. This is the actual set you need for these. We have them in stock currently. They give you all of the different shapes of flowers. They've even got a twiddly bit and a couple of the leaves in there as well, and it's only £8.99. If you wish to have that held in store, then of course you can order it via phone, text message or social media with the rest of your order, and we can have it held for you. Or if you're going to shop online with us, then that die will be pictured in the Sunday Showcase tab on the website, so you can order that if you like the look of it. But again, just bringing home the quality and the way that these tabs match in with your papers, I just think is lovely. And again, the colours of the dots match in so well with the colours of the cardstock as well. So it really is one of them things that once you've got the whole collection, you're just going to find the ideas are going to flow because it just goes together so well. Moving on to your next card. So that was your oval, by the way, used as a landscape. This is the oval set of dies used as a portrait. And again, I've just done 3 of these, cut them out and folded them to create my easel. Once again, I'll show you how to do that shortly. This time I've gone for the bolder patterns of our papers in the booklets. And I've used another one of the cardstock to create layers underneath. This is one of the beauties of having all the different sizes of the nesting bits. You can make your layers coordinate really easily, and it's so easy to do. I was cutting 2 or 3 layers at a time, to be honest, so I didn't even have to keep sending them through my machine. I could do them in one go. This, of course, is the ribbon that you're going to get in your essentials pack as well, so it does make a really lovely bow. I love satin bows, and I do have a bit of a thing about ribbons as well on cards. I know a lot of you have picked up on that before, but it's very rare I make a card that doesn't have some ribbon on it somewhere. Then changing shape, we're going to have a look at the circles. So of course this is die 5. Again, same setup. So when we get to talk to you about how that's made, this is another one the same. And this time we've cut 3 again to do that with. Also, what I didn't mention on the first colour show you is how well these cut frames. So this is using the 2nd size down and the 3rd size down to actually cut out this frame. And I did the same on the oval one as well to create that really delicate frame in here. There's nothing stopping you doing that. And I've also cut the layer out underneath using just the outside one so that the scallops of that actually match with it, so you don't have to worry about hiding different layers as well. And I've done the same on this one so that that sort of plum colour comes out to underneath my frame as well. I'll get this up so I can show you. There you go. So it can just extend out. And then of course we've got more of the papers from your booklets. This is using the papers from the 6x6 book if I remember rightly. And then of course we've got the little tab on here which has come out of the kit, pad number 9. And then we've got more of your ribbon that you're going to get in your essentials pack, and one of them really lovely heart embellishments that you're getting in there as well. The flowers this time I've actually coloured with some distress inks and added the little gems in the middle that of course you're getting in your essential pack as well. And then this is my first one of these to show you. This is a trio of easel cards. It's ever so easy to do, and again I'll explain a little bit more about this when we get down to the other end and I can show you how to make your first easel on the scoreboard. But it's basically we take 3 different size easels and just glue them together, so you can hopefully see on a side angle we have our first one here of the smaller size, then the medium size, and then the large size at the end. And this is the beauty of having all of the different sizes in one die. There's nothing stopping you doing that, because not only have you got the sizes to create all of the different actual card folds, you've also got all of the different sizes to create the layers that go on top of the cards as well. So just beautiful. It's such a lovely set to have. If you're looking at this and wondering how on earth do I post it, don't be alarmed. Everything folds down relatively flat. You can just create all 3 of them and push them down, and then you've got, okay, it might be a box job or a big envelope, but it is doable to put it into a smaller setup than it actually sits as when made. And then when it gets to the other end, you can literally just push up all 3 panels to create the 3D effect once more. On here as well, you're going to notice that I've taken my 6x6 paper and I've cut it into 2-inch blocks, if I remember rightly, and made a little tea bag folded medallion in the middle. And then obviously we've got more of the cardstock that you're getting in the essential pack cut out to make the layer on that one. And the layers on all of these, this sort of really lovely peachy pink colour, is of course using the colours out of that pack of coloured card. And then you'll notice that I've tried to alternate between the really heavy navy design and the polka dot design going back through my layers. So we've got polka dot on the top, then the bottom, then the top, and then the heavy design on the bottom, heavy design on the top, heavy design on the bottom. And I've yo-yoed between the florals and the keys. I really like the key and padlock background, so I've used that in quite a few places as well. And then of course we've got on the back here one of the die cut toppers which comes out of the kit, which of course is pad number 9 if you're thinking of your codes. And then lots more flowers on this one, again using the white waffle card and the flower die. Now moving on, we have got a heart version of that one as well. So I started actually by doing the heart one, but I wanted to show you that of course you could do this with any of the shapes. All 5 of the shapes lend themselves to being able to be done in the same way. So it's up to you what you prefer. But I quite like the heart one, I think I prefer the colours. But again, same idea, so 3 again. Again, perfectly able to fold down. All of these do collapse down once again if you wish to. This one actually sits a bit flatter, just because of the where I've put my flowers and how dimensional they are. and it builds up in exactly the same way again. The heart one's quite nice as well because of the point that it stops at actually sits between the points on the heart or the top of the heart. So that sort of helps it stand perfectly flat as well. Again, just 3 different sets per one. And then again, I've tried to yo-yo between my floral papers. And here is what we were saying earlier about using the patterns from the 6x6 paper being a more delicate pattern. And then when we get to bigger shapes, using the ones from the 8x8s and the 7x7s. So same design, but a bolder print on the bigger patterns. And I just think that, on the bigger panels, sorry, and I just think that can give quite an expensive and luxury look, to me anyway. Them little hearts as well that you're getting in your essentials pack make quite nice stoppers. So like this one, I didn't really want anything too bold at the beginning because I wanted you to be looking at all of this lot. So they make just quite a nice little stopper to actually stop the card going down any further. And that is the end of all of my different easels, but don't forget, I will talk to you a little later on in today's video about how you can actually make these easels, and we'll try and make it make sense, so hopefully you can do these if you like the look of them. And then moving on to our next card. So this one's actually using a square card blank, or a square die. You can actually see this is the largest one from in our set. I've just taken it out. I've layered on one of my papers straight out of the book. I believe that's one of the 7x7 ones. And I've popped that straight onto my card. I've folded it in half to make my sort of tent style card. And then I've used the second size down on the heart to actually layer on top of it. I've also used the heart to cut out my paper. I've added in a few butterfly dies. I've used one of the circles out of the circle sets to make the layer to go underneath the circle of the die cut. And then I've just added a few pearls. So really quick and easy card. Nothing too faffy with that one, but hopefully quite an elegant card. Done. Then let's move on to our next one. So on this one, we have got the large rectangle. Now this, of course, makes a great card front in itself. So this is the largest one of these, which don't forget is 18 by 23.5 centimetres. All I've done is taken 2 of these and just scored it down the edge here. Now the score amount is up to you, but by memory I think that's 1.5 centimetres roughly. And then I've done that on both parts and then just glued them together down that spine to make my actual card. So it's using 2 of the dies to make my card that size. And then on the front, I've just layered lots of the card and the paper. So this is, of course, is more of the colours of the card from in that really lovely pack. And then you've got more of the papers. And again, this is quite a nice way to break up the bolder patterns and give you more ability to layer the patterns if you want to. So I've just cut this one into strips and broke it up a bit. I've added a bit of ribbon in, a bit of sheer, a bit of that really lovely pink ribbon, and then I've just layered using the circles again in the middle underneath my die cut bit as well. Again, really, really quick and easy card, but I just want to show you how lovely these make card blanks using that large rectangle. So easy to do. And then the next card I wanted to show you is if you don't want to use the dies, if maybe you don't like die cutting, maybe you don't have a machine. Well, of course, there's nothing stopping you just using the paper pads and creating some really stunning cards. So this card is actually 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, which is the width of a piece of A4 card in the UK. So I've just cut that down to a square. And then I've actually decorated up from that. So on the inside, we've got one of the 8x8 papers, obviously being 8 1/4, it fits perfectly fine on there. I've then layered a couple of bits in the middle here. I've made an acetate wrap round to go round my card, hidden in between the layers of card at the back here. And then on the front, I've got one of the 7x7 designs that I've layered onto some card. And then in the middle, we've got one of the 5x5 pages out of that really lovely little booklet. Now, as I said earlier, there's nothing stopping you layering them. And you've got so many copies of the same images in there that like this, it's no hardship to actually layer it and get some really nice depth to your images. So you can see I've gone sort of 4 layers high in some parts of this. And I've glittered lots of the parts of my roses and my flowers and my little lock as well. And I've just left the sentiment quite flat, but again, you could add more to the sentiment, or of course you could cover the sentiment up if it's not something you like. I actually quite love the sentiments in that pad, but there's certainly ways you could dress around them if you wanted to. And then I've added a bow in for good measure and stuck some of the pearls around the edges. By the way, I've actually foam padded my front panel onto the acetate to give me a bit more depth when the card is shut and you see the different layers of paper through it. So I've padded it on to give it a bit more height. And on acetate, I don't like to see the pads on the back of it, so I've just cut another square and stuck that over the back of it so that when you open the card, it looks quite neat as well. but it's just a nice way to play about that set. I love acetate cards. That is a bit of an addiction of mine of recent. Oh, I lied to you earlier. I said that was our last easel card, didn't I? I've thrown myself off because I've made a diamond one out of this one, but it is very much still an easel. This, of course, is using the squares, so it's still the square one. It's still using 3 pieces to it, and it still folds down flat to, or down into one shape, not particularly flat. But if you did want to post it or pop it into a box, it is still just a square. And I will talk about how I made this one again in a little while. But this time, again, I just want to talk really about how the papers layer so well. So we've got the big papers on the outside, working in on each step, breaking it up with some of the card out of that really lovely pack again. And then down here, we've got another one of them little ribbon sliders on some more ribbon. And the gems that you're going to be getting, or pearls, I should say, that are going to come in your essentials pack again. And I really love the way that these scalloped edges give you quite a quality finish and a bit more dimension to the edges of the card than just a flat edge. So I think if you do end up with these, that's something you might really appreciate as well. Just gives it a bit more of an expensive look to me anyway. And then I've added in a couple of butterflies just to finish that card off. And we'll move this one over there so we can talk about it a bit more when we get on to talking about your easels shortly. And then this one is using the large rectangle, or the grand rectangles, I apologise, grand rectangles. So this is again using the largest one of them. I've cut 2 of them and I've foam padded them together to create a bit of depth. I've then cut a third and folded it in half and glued it to the back to actually make my stand for this card. Of course, you don't have to do it that way, but it's quite a nice way to show you that once again you can fold it flat. You can put a little insert or a little sentiment on the inside of that if you wanted to, but it makes quite a nice tent fold without too much hard work. On the front, I've actually used some of my papers from the 6x6 pad, and this is a good way of showing you that although I'm working on a larger area, there's nothing stopping you using smaller papers to cover larger areas. So you've probably guessed already, but my join is hidden under the ribbon. So I've got one panel going up here and then one panel going down there, both out of the 6x6 pad, but it means that I can cover a much larger area with that one paper. I've also cut frames to go on this one out of the circles. So that's of course our grand circles. You can see we've got a solid backing of the keys and then an actual frame one using a couple of the different sizes to go on top of that. Of course, framing off our die cut top a bit in the middle. And then more of our flowers, this time cut out of the ribbed cardstock, which I think is really lovely. And I've actually tried to do it, I don't know how successful I was, but I tried to keep it so that the lines on my back panel all go down straight. Same with the part on the frame and the same with the parts on the flowers to keep an all vertical stripe idea. You might not notice that, but that was part of my aim anyway. I think I need to get out more, but something fun to do. It also, of course, matches in with our little heart embellishment, which, of course, also has vertical lines on it, which, of course, is on top of more of our ribbon, which you're going to get in your pack as well. And then let's move on to talking about some boxes. And so this is my first box that I wanted to play about with a bit. You don't need to see that yet. It's more about the box. Now, basically, I see this on Pinterest and I thought, do you know what? That's a really good idea. So this is actually just an ordinary card box, the sort of thing that I make quite a lot of, just an ordinary box. But I've stuck the layers from my grand rectangles on the top and the bottom of them. So it just makes a more delicate and expensive looking box. It's no more hard work to do. You literally just take these and stick them over the top of your average box. The good bit about this is using the largest grand rectangle. It will actually fit an A5 card perfectly. So I haven't decorated this one, all the cards go in it, but this is just an average A5 aperture card off of the shelf. And you can see that just by laying it on the top there, it fits perfectly in the centre of that grand nestable, or grand rectangle, sorry. So it fits perfectly in the box as well and gives you lots of options, because I know this is a really popular cardstock size to work on. I just think that's a really nice way to make a box. If I was actually going to complete this, I'd possibly wrap a ribbon around the side of it, maybe a few bows, a few of the papers from the pad, then make a matching card to go into it. And it might end up looking a bit like this one, because I had time to do this one. So we'll talk a bit more about this one. But that was a really simple way to create that one. This one obviously is using the square die instead, so there's nothing stopping you using the different dies to create this effect with. So this one is the square one. We've got the largest square die actually on the outside. If we undo our little bow here and break into it, I've decorated the top of it obviously using one of the toppers out of the 5x5 pad, and then we have one of the papers out of the larger pad. The lid can just lift off, and again you can see it's just an ordinary box stuck on with this stuck on top of it to give us that depth. And then if we break into the inside here, you will see that in the bottom of my box, we've got another one of the papers. I didn't even have to cut down. This is the 8x8 paper, if I remember rightly. And it just fits straight in the bottom as a nice line into my set. And then we have the card, of course, that goes with it. So I've used the next size down in the die to create this. And then I've used the next size down in the paper pads to create my different layers. And of course, we've got another one of the sentiments from the 5x5 pad on top here. Now this one again I've glittered. I've only glittered part of it actually. I remember why now. This is how I started off playing around with my glitters when I did that one that we did lots of layers on. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to like the glittered idea. So I started it off to see what I thought of it. And I'd already made my layers, so I went back and added glitter to that. So I sort of forgot about this, so apologies for that. But it does show you the nice before and after, which is what I could have told you. I could have lied. It said before and after. But never mind, that ship sailed. The card opens up, it's scored just down the side. You can see this time I've been a bit more marginal in my scoring, so it's literally only like a centimetre. Ignore that line in the middle, you're not meant to see that. That was because I was going off to make another easel and decided that you might have been bored of seeing easels, so I should show you how you could make normal cards with these two. And then on the inside we've got another one of our papers, perfectly sized to fit in the middle, and then I've just left a bit in the middle here for you to add a sentiment to if you wanted to. And that completes that little box set. Now our next box is a bit more tricky, so I'm going to waddle my way around this way and we'll have a little look at this one and we'll explain actually how this one's made while we're here. So I wanted to show you how you could make a box out of a heart die. So this time of course we're using the hearts, which is actually one of my favourite dies from today. Now I know people tend to think that hearts have to be for Valentine's or weddings, but if you love somebody all year, why not send their birthday card in a heart box or a heart-shaped card? And to me I think that'd be lovely for babies' birthdays and children's birthdays, things like that as well. There's a lot more to hearts than just Valentine's Day in my world anyway. We're going to open this one up once again with our little bow, and you'll see that I've used 3 layers from our die set to make the roof of my box. If you open it up onto the inside, you will notice that the actual inside bit, the bit that's stopping it, instead of having a flap down lid like we normally do, this one works just by having a stopper lid. So this bit has been foam padded up so it's enough that it won't let it go anywhere, it will stay within the shape. Hoping that makes sense. It's using the same size large die as this bit, but you might not see this, but they actually emboss a line around the edge of it when they cut them. And I've just cut across that line to get my heart so it hasn't got the scallop. It's not the scallop I want rid of, it's the size I want it to be, because that's the perfect size for it to fit into my actual box, because that's where I've glued my edge to my box in. I hope this makes sense. So when we take this out anyway, we have the card in here. But to complete waffling on about the box, because I'm hoping that you can make these if you like the look of it, I've basically taken some card and I've fringed it to make my box with. So I'm going to show you a bit more about that in a moment. But I've glued it around another one of the large hearts on the bottom here. Now obviously this looks a bit messy on the inside. If you wanted to, you could cut another one of these out and stick it on the bottom here and it would cover up all that fringing. Or you could put some tissue paper or some crepe paper in your box, which I think is really lovely and a bit more of an expensive look. But I truthfully need you to see this so you can see how I've done it in case my ramblings make sense and you want to have a go at it. So, I've sort of prepared for this. We have a piece of card to show you with. It's just, this one's a 1.5 inch piece of card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score down it at 1/2 inch, just because that's the measurement that's easiest for me to do. And then to create this effect, you've possibly guessed already, but we fold up against it like so. And then you're just going to fringe cut all the way across it. You don't have to be exact with this, but just sort of every 1/2 centimetre-ish. And you just cut up to the score line. And then I actually glue gunned mine into place. And I won't do too much because that'll give you the idea. But by fringe cutting it, it means that we can now bend that and form it around any shape that we want to. So for instance, if you wanted to go around this circle, I actually used the tips of my scallops as the aim of where I wanted my box to end up. But you can use your glue gun and you can stick that down and then just bring this around, following all the way around the edge of it, and then you will end up hopefully with a bit like my one here. Now I also scored every ½ inch going around here just because I wanted a bit of a pattern to it, and I also think if you score it every now and again, you hopefully don't notice the joins quite so much. I actually used a length of card off of an A3 piece of card, so I've got a landscape length of an A3, so it is still done in 2 bits, but that's up to you, you don't have to, and that's up to you where you join it, but I joined it at each tip so it was more hidden, but it's a really easy way to do it. Of course as well, now I know I've turned mine into a box to put a card in so it all coordinates, but you could of course use one of these dies to cut out a window and you could literally make your own chocolate box. Which would be quite cool as well. Or you could make a chocolate box and a box for your card. So that's just different ideas for you. And of course this bit on the side here, the depth bit, that's all down to you as well. So if you wanted to make these really deep, you certainly could do just by using bigger card, stronger card. Or if you wanted to make it more shallow for a smaller card, of course you can as well. But I'm sure you're already one step ahead of me and already aware of that. But it's worth pointing it out just because I like to have lots of ideas, hopefully, of ways that you can use these items. Now in here is another easel card, just because I didn't think you'd be bored of these by now, and I absolutely love them. So this one is another one of our heart easel cards. It's of course using the next size down, so it fitted in the box. But it wouldn't be very good if we did it all out of the big one, because it wouldn't fit in it. So this is the next size down, layered again using some of our burgundy card that you're going to get in your essentials pack. More of the patterned papers and a little topper off the top here from your die cut bits. Of course, don't miss the circle again from your circle set. Something I did do on this one that I quite liked was I also sort of give it a bit of a shadow at the bottom here by cutting the burgundy one at the base and then padding on the cream one, just because I think it gives it a bit of a sort of shadow around the edges and a bit more depth, and again a bit more of a luxury look. But that's all up to you. So that's that one. Then, while we were still playing with the heart, this is another idea I stole off Pinterest, so I can't claim it's mine, but I thought it was good enough that I should share it. So I wanted to show you how you could take your hearts and turn them into little goodie bags. The lady who had done this online, I should have remembered her name so I could tell you and give her full credit, I do apologise. But she had actually turned these into little gift bags for her granddaughters, I believe. And I thought they were quite cute, so I wanted to share this with you as well. So for this, all she's done is taken 2 hearts, and then she's made a V of card in the middle. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to do that as well. So this time I've gone up to a 2-inch piece of card, and we're going to score ½ inch down each side of it. We'll just move this up so we can finish off the edges. And then if you fold it in half, just roughly. Now you might want a bigger bit of card, but hopefully I'm just giving you an idea of how that's done because it's really easy. You then take your scissors and cut on that line to your crease line. So not too far in, but just to the crease line. And then fold these bits up like so. And then you bring that up and glue it together to make its own little V. Now you can push it further depending on the radius of the V you want. And then you just stick that on top of one of your hearts and then stick another heart on the top of that. Now of course you can trim these down so it's a bit neater. And then I've just added in a ribbon to create our little hanging bow effect. But I'm not convinced you couldn't make some nice hanging decorations in these. Or wall hangers maybe, for those of you that are into home decor. I just thought it was quite a nice idea and a different way to use a die, so you might want to play about a bit with that. And then while I'm here, we'll talk about how to make all these easels. We keep chatting about all the different easels that I've created, and hopefully you're still with me on this one. You might still like an easel, so let's chat to you a little bit about that. So as I've told you, on every one of my easels I've used 3 shapes, so 3 identical size shapes, and this is so easy to do. You're going to take the first one and you're going to fold it in half. Now of course if you want to you can do this on a scoreboard, but we're just going to do this by eye. Use our little bone folder to go across it, and that's the first part. We're then going to take one side of it, so just one side, and we're going to score it at enough of a distance to glue it. So we don't need too much room, and if you were doing this at home you could be a bit neater with it, but just enough that we can actually glue that on. Now work that crease so that it's ready to go. And then I'm going to do this with some double-sided tape, but the tape might be bigger than my crease. But it's just to give you an idea. And double-sided tape should be a bit quicker and easier. So we're going to take this, we're going to take our next square, and we're going to pop that on top here so that that matches up perfectly there. And you can already see that we have the beginning of an easel. So that will fold down flat, and it will go up into the air. Now you don't have to stick the next panel on exactly the same if you don't want to. A bit like that one where we put the heart on the top of it, you could do that instead if you want to. Or if you wish to, you can take this, I've just put a bit of tape on there, but again you'd glue it a bit better than I have, hopefully. And you stick that onto there, and then we have our easel card. And that is exactly how all of these big easels I've been showing you are created. So you've got that little lip at the back to glue it with. You've then got the middle part and the top part or the bottom part going down here. And then we've got the next heart stuck to the front of it and the one at the bottom to actually make our easel. Now I hope that makes sense. I really do hope. If you like the ones that I did as well where I had 3 of them, and I told you that was just taking 3 different easels, it's exactly like that. So if you can imagine this one's a heart again, ignore the flowers there and glue that one there. That's your next stage down. And then you could either do a smaller one or a bigger one to go behind it if you wanted to. But literally just glue your next one on wherever you want it to be. Now remember, the further back you go, the more upright that panel will be. And of course, equally, the further forward you come, the more laid back that panel will be. So you want to find the right radius. Now, even if you're doing a single one of these or a triple one, doesn't matter what one you're doing, make sure you decorate your panels before you start gluing them together. Because it's like in here, you can see this. I've got my base layer. And then where I've used the next sizes in the layers, they actually go, or the burgundy one actually goes underneath that one. So you don't want to glue it together and then realise that really you should have posted that under there and then swear about it. So stick these on first and then build up from there to create your 3 different layers. Now I hope that's give you some ideas. So I possibly already knew about this, and it's an age-old technique and way before my time, but if you didn't, hopefully it's put you on the right path and give you a couple of different bits you might be able to create with these as well. As always, if I have rambled on and I've made no sense whatsoever, which is always highly likely, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. You can either call one of the stores, or you can send us an email, or you can even friend request me on Facebook. The link to do so is in the description to this video, and you can talk to me directly day or night, and I will do my best to answer it. And I can even send you little diagrams and videos and bits if you really need me to. It's not a problem. That's exactly what I'm here to do. So hopefully I can help you on the right path if you are stuck. Now then, let's have a quick recap of all of the things we've had a look at today, and hopefully set you on the right path to sorting out the items that you would like, because there's so many lovely bits. I'm sure it's going to be a hard decision to know which ones to get. Well, it isn't actually. You just need all of them. So we're going to start off with die number 1. Die number 1 is your grand rectangle. It should be $25.99 and it's just $16.99. Die number 2 is your grand hearts. It should, once again, should be $25.99, but it's just $16.99. And then we have die number 3, which is your grand ovals. It should be $25.99, but it's only $16.99. And then we have your grand squares, which should be $25.99 and is only $16.99. And then we have your grand circles, die number 5, should be $25.99 and is only $16.99. Now, something I haven't mentioned with all of these dies, and this is the truth 110%, these are on clearance, and when they're gone, they're gone. It's not an us thing, it's actually the people who make them. So there is a limit to how many we can do of these. So don't hang about. If you do want them, do get them while we've got them. That genuinely is the honest truth. Obviously, we've spoke about all 5 of them individually, but you might want the mega bundle. The die mega bundle is your code. It gives you all 5 dies. Should be £129.95p, but your offer price is just $74.99. And then moving on to your gorgeous pads. I'm sure you're going to go for these because these are just adorable. Pad number 6 is the 5x5 one. Should be $4.99, but is reduced to just $4.49. Pad number 7 is the 6x6 pad. Should be $3.99, but it's only £3.59. Pad number 8 is the 7x7 pad, and it should be $4.99, but it's only £4.49. Pad number 9 is the kit. So not only do you get the pad with this one, you also get the toppers, don't forget. Your kit one is pad number 9. It's an 8x8 kit. It should be $7.99, but it is only £7.19p. To get your hands on all of them pads in one easy go, why not save even more and go for the pad mega bundle? It should be £21.96p, but we've put it all together in one handy mega bundle for just $17.99. And then your essentials pack, giving you all of them goodies that we've been looking at on all of my cards. This should cost you £24.94p, but your offer price is just £16. And then lastly, we have your super mega bundle for you. This will give you all 5 dies, all of the paper pads, including the kit, so it's going to give you all of them lovely topper bits as well. And it's got the essentials pack in it as well. It should cost you £175.85p, but it's yours for just £108.98. Now, I know we briefly spoke about this earlier, but just in case you're new to shopping with us, you can use any of the codes I've given you today throughout today's video to order via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I think that's all of them. You can use any of them codes to do that. You can also do it via text message. We have our own mobile number that you can text day or night. And you can also call one of our stores and have any of the items held for you that you would like to that way as well. Talking of collecting from our stores, I'm sure by now you're aware, but our Lowestoft store is actually closing down on Christmas Eve. That will be our last day of trading in Lowestoft. But if you are a regular to ordering on our showcases and collecting from our Lowestoft store, do not fear. We also own Beaches and Cream in Station Square in Lowestoft, and you will be able to click and collect your Sunday showcases from Beaches and Cream, just the same way as you have been from Craftmania in Lowestoft. You will also be able to find a nice little selection of Craftmania essentials in there as well. So there will be a display of glues and wool and papers and bits like that. So although we're leaving Lowestoft and heading to sunny Yarmouth, and we'll still be there, and hope you'll come to see us there too, there will still be a few bits available in Lowestoft at Beaches and Cream in Station Square. And of course, anything on the website can be click and collected from Beaches and Cream, as well as Craftmania in Great Yarmouth. Now, of course, you're all fully aware that we are keeping the Great Yarmouth store, and we are going to be creating that as our Craftmania flagship store, and there's lots of exciting changes coming as we move on through 2019. If you haven't been keeping up with all of these bits, then do check out our Facebook page, where you can read our statement about the closing of our store, and you can also see all of the exciting changes that we've already been putting into place in Craftmania Great Yarmouth, including announcements of loads of brand new lessons that are coming to Yarmouth in 2019. Ordering online, the bit we haven't spoke about. Obviously, everything I've been talking about today is available to order on our website. You can just click on the items you want, and we can either have them held for you, like we was just chatting about, or you can have them sent to you. If you live within the UK and you spend over £35, P&P is completely free. If you spend under £35, P&P is a flat rate of £2.75. If you wish to have any of these items sent to you internationally, that's not a problem. We send loads of stuff abroad. It usually takes roughly around 2 weeks, but with Christmas coming up, we are aware that might be slightly longer. Sadly, not down to us, but down to the postal service itself, but we'll certainly try our best. That's really easy. We're trialling a new system. By whatever you order, your postage is just £10 anywhere in the world. If it costs us less than £10 to send the items that you've ordered to you, we will actually refund you the difference. So it's going to cost you a maximum £10. If it costs over £10, then don't worry. Here at Craftmania, we actually pay the extra for you. Now, in honesty, the average parcel costs about £16, and obviously means that you pay 10 and we pay 6, and hopefully you'll get it nice and quickly, even with Christmas postage, because we know that you're going to want to get your hands on all of these goodies. Now, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As I said earlier, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. We're here all the time. If you're watching us on YouTube, we would love it if you would give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. This week, we've actually managed to break our 1,300 subscribers limit, which was absolutely amazing. Quite interestingly, one of our ladies messaged and said how she was with us from our 10 subscriber point, and she was amazed how quickly we'd grown to 1,300. So please keep on sharing it and liking it so we can get even more of you on board with our videos. All of the cards from today will of course be popped on our Pinterest page as well, so if you do wish to pop on there and pin them so you can come back to them at a later date, they will be there forever and a day. Thank you so much for watching today. I will be back next week with our next new Sunday showcase. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.